Okay, what's up everyone? So as you guys can tell, what was in the box was that Retro Fighters StrikerDC Gamepad, and honestly, this video is going to be all about talking about this, so if you like games, consoles, or product reviews, please consider subscribing and hitting that bell notification. With that being said, let's hop into it. Okay, so like you guys saw, I picked up the Retro Fighters StrikerDC Gamepad, and by picked up, I mean they sent it to me, which is totally awesome. Retro Fighters is always sending out awesome stuff. Now, I talked about their stuff a ton on this channel and on my Instagram, and I'm gonna keep doing that. In this video, I'm gonna talk about everything that you could expect from this. I sit down and play some games and show you guys kind of what I thought about the whole thing, and honestly this fixes a few problems I have with the Dreamcast controller, honestly, and so I'm really interested to seeing what this is. So on further ado, let's unbox this thing and get into it. Okay, so we see the StrikerDC Gamepad on the front here. I'm gonna go ahead and take the top off, and then you'll see some tissue paper. We're gonna go ahead and move that out of the way here. And then what you're hit with right away is some Retro Fighters frequently asked questions. Now I'm gonna talk about all of this in this video, but we'll kind of run down it. Why does the analog stick feel like it has a light resistance? What accessories work? Does the VMU window work? Why does it look different, I guess? How is the D-pad different? Why are there shoulder buttons and triggers? How do turbo function? Does the Striker work with USB adapters? All those things are talked about in that. If you want to, just message me or something if you got a question about that. Then it shows us a sticker pack, which I thought is really pretty cool. Then it's got like a quick start kind of manual, I guess, and then you see the keychain, and then last but not least we see the controller. Now this controller is really totally awesome and I love it, and honestly it feels exactly like what I would expect a modern take of the Sega Dreamcast to feel like if I took the controller and made it modern. First thing they did is they took that stupid cord and flipped it from going the wrong way to the right way, and honestly that saves me. Now if you notice in the pre kind of clips that I kind of made a little skit about, you notice I was like looking at it and was like kind of confused. That's because it's weird the way that cord works, but there is that slot that it clicks into, but that still kind of doesn't work for me. Also, these buttons are really nice. Now at first I noticed they're very shallow. If you notice off the top, there's not much there from the actual shell of the case to the top of the buttons, and I will say the X and Y button are a little bit higher than the A and B, and I think that's just because of the curvature of the controller. Now you have on the top, you got a turbo button, you got a clear button, you've got that VMU window right in the middle, you've got the start down there on that triangle, you got a nice looking D-pad, a very simple D-pad. It doesn't have any notches or anything like that. And then you've got this analog stick that feels kind of interesting. It doesn't have like a totally crazy feel to it, but it feels like there's like a little bit of resistance. At first there's like a little bit movement, and then you've got your L and your R and your triggers, which function as L and R buttons as well. And then on the top you'll notice that there are 2 slots for VMUs, which is totally awesome, and honestly I think this is a pretty cool looking controller. Now when you first sit down and put your hands in it, I noticed one thing, and that is where this VMU pack is. It feels a little weird when you grab the controller, your fingers go automatically and just kind of rest on that, and I don't know if I liked it at first. I kind of took that idea and put it in the back of my mind and just played, and honestly I didn't even notice the difference. Also, I feel like the triggers are a little weird. They just feel like really kind of cheap triggers. I don't remember the feel of those like that on the Retro 64, but I'm gonna grab that. Okay, so I guess the feel is like that, but it's a little bit more clicky on the Dreamcast version of the Retro Fighters controller, and that's okay. I'm not complaining there. I think this is a really comfortable controller. Now, when I sat down and played it, you guys saw me playing a multitude of different games. I was playing fighters like Power Stone. I was playing NFL Blitz, I think 2000 maybe. I played some soccer games. I played Silver, which is a really good looking game on this system. And then honestly, I just think everything turned out to be well. This is an awesome controller. When I sat down and played with it, I was actually very surprised. I was very happy. Now, when I say very surprised, I mean I was expecting this to be a good controller. And honestly, I think it's a good controller overall. Now, I think there's a few things that I would fix. Those trigger buttons probably are the first thing and maybe the only thing I would fix. I did notice the turbo and the clear button don't stick out much either, but that's probably to keep you from accidentally hitting it, which is totally understandable. So playing these games, what did I feel? Now this is supposed to be like for strikers, so it's for like fighting games and I'm assuming shooter games. And honestly, when I was playing Power Stone, I thought this was a great controller. It worked perfectly. I loved the feel of it and it felt a lot better than the Dreamcast original. Now, the response of the original joystick to the center is a little bit more fast, but that's okay, and the D-pad is a lot taller on the original, and overall, I think it's okay. Now, I will say, yet again, the Dreamcast controller has better triggers than the Retro Fighters one, but that is alright. Honestly, if they make these in fantastic colors like they did the Brawler 64 controller, I think that's gonna sell these things like hotcakes. Maybe in the next revision they'll fix those triggers and it'll be more like the Brawler 64 and it'll be more comfortable. But overall, I'm very happy with the look and the feel of this controller. It feels like a good controller whenever you think of it. I would say one thing about it is it's rather light, which third-party controllers usually are rather light, and so it tends to feel like it might have been cheap plastic, but I played this and I feel like it's a sturdy plastic. I can't twist it and hear any cracking, and it just overall looks like a great controller and feels good. So I'm happy with this. I would definitely be adding this into my rotation when I am playing my Dreamcast. Now, I don't play my Dreamcast very much. I want to say I have about 15 to 20 games, which honestly, if you guys have seen my collection, is kind of small, but that is how it is. When in my area, it's kind of hard to kind of get Dreamcast games. I feel like every time I see them, they're marked out way too much and it just doesn't work. Now, one thing I actually did for this was I was trying to video Crazy Taxi, and apparently I got the PC version instead of the Dreamcast version, which I didn't even know existed. And I put it in and it like played as like a disc that was like a CD, and I was very, very confused. I resurfaced it, and then I came back and noticed that it was still doing that, and so I looked at it and it said Sega PC, and I was thoroughly confused. So I wanted to do a racing game with this, but I don't have one anymore. Or I guess I don't have one at all. And so that's why I didn't get to test that. But playing the soccer game, playing the football game, playing games like Power Stone or Silver, I was definitely having fun with it, and I think that this controller is definitely well worth the price. Now, if you are interested, down below I will have a link to this controller, and whether or not that's an affiliate market link or not, you'll notice if it's on Amazon, it's an affiliate link. If I can't get one, it'll be on Retro Fighters website, of course. I think it's about $50, so if you are a hardcore Dreamcast guy and you don't play and don't like the feel of the weird kind of Dreamcast controller, this is definitely a great controller to replace that with that modern feel. I think everything about it is nice. The triggers, like I said, I've been complaining about that, but if the controller has bumpers and triggers that do the same thing and I'm complaining about the triggers, maybe that's not a big deal, because everything else on this controller is very awesome. So I want to see what you guys think. Comment down below and let me know what you think of this controller. Do you think it looks cool? Do you think it plays cool? Have you played with one? Also, what games do I need to pick up for my system? Now, I've got a few games that I didn't play, like I have Illblade, I have Tech Romancer, and like a few other games like that. So I'm wondering, what should I pick up? I have Sonic Adventure, but I don't know where the disc is, so maybe I need to pick that up again. But I want to say thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell notification. That way you know when I post more videos, which is every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. And honestly, one more time, thank you so much for watching. It really means a lot to me. And I just keep making videos for fun, and you guys keep watching them, so that's totally awesome. I want to say be safe. If you're out there protesting, be safe there. And if you're going out, the coronavirus is still a thing, so be safe there. Wash your hands, practice social distancing, stay 6 feet away from each other, stay home when you can, all that stuff. That way you and your family are safe, because ultimately that's what matters. One more time, thank you so much for watching, and make sure you have a good day.